well, no. And I was like, David, your reputation is on the line here. You know, if you start now, little things grow into bigger things, and I don't want that happening. So I was like, okay. As difficult as it was, I'd find a way to just get out of bed. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did it. But it was so refreshing to go running. And I was like, yes. It's like, why did I not want to get out of bed and do this? This is so nice. And it gives me time, it gives time to yourself to not only keep in shape and get exercise and, you know, be healthy, but it gives you time to think. So when I go running and stuff, you know, sometimes we kind of get in the habit of not giving ourselves time to ourselves and give ourselves time to think about things. And I think that's really important, because that's where you kind of, you know, figure out, okay, David, what is going on in your mind? What's going up there in your brain? And it really helps you think, okay, well, I'm going to kind of organize my thoughts, and it's really peaceful and relaxing. So I really liked, you know, it's important. I would encourage all of you to give yourself a little bit of time each day just to yourselves, and really think about, you know, maybe what you're doing today. What are your goals for the day? Because, you know, if you can think about, oh, well, I'm just gonna do whatever, and not really, just kind of go with the flow. I don't really know what I should be doing today. Oh, I feel so unproductive today. Well, it's because you haven't given yourself any goals for that day. So when I go running, that's where I give myself time, because it's kind of like your body automatically goes into this, just, you know, run, and so you have time to think. I don't know if that made any sense, but another thing I do to give myself time to think and organize my thoughts is journal writing. And that, honestly, there's been so many great things this year. You know, I went on my first solo tour at the beginning of this year, and then, you know, I was working on a Christmas album too, and those are some of the great highlights of this year for me. But another one that's just about up there is I started writing in my journal. And I made it my New Year's resolution, because unfortunately I didn't really write in my journal last year. And that was a pretty big year for me. There was a lot that was going on. But I would think, it's like, well, I wonder if I should write in a journal. But I was getting a lot of scrapbooks from fans, and a lot of newspaper articles from neighbors, and I was like, well, everyone else is already taking care of keeping records for me, so I don't worry about it. But there are actually some really cool scrapbooks that people make. I'm really amazed, because my mom was never really into scrapbooking, so I was like, what's so great about scrapbooking? But I know Utah's really into scrapbooking, and I know my neighbors, you know, sometimes we have like little scrapbooking sessions and little groups, and like each week. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But then people would start giving me scrapbooks. I'm like, this is so neat. I can see why people want to make them, because they're great memories, and it's not just like a bunch of words. I know you can put little sayings here and there, but it's neat to be able to have like this sort of like yearbook in a way. But anyway, I got caught up in thinking, okay, well, other people are doing that, and it's not like I'm very good at writing in my journal anyway when I did it in the past. But near the end of the year last year, in December actually, I found one of my old journals, and I thought it was so neat to be able to see what I thought was important to write about and what was on my mind. And just, you know, talking about school and friends, and just saying, man, I wonder what I'm gonna do with myself in my life, and just seeing things that were troubling me. And it was so neat to see how I was always talking about music, and how I was like, man, I really want to do music, but I don't know how I'm supposed to do it. And it's just crazy to see how it's like, wow, David back then had no idea where David right now was gonna be, but it was really neat. And, you know, I guess I can, after the journal writing, I'll talk a little more about where I kind of started singing. But with when I was reading it, the last entry I had in my journal was the year before, in the middle of the American Idol auditions. And I was not expecting to get very far with it at all, to be honest. I was just, I'm not sure. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with it. But the last entry I had was talking about how I was like, I have no idea what's going to happen with this. I'm really not sure, but I know that I need to be doing this for some reason. And so to see that as the last entry, and then to think about where I was standing there that day, I was like, wow, I need to start writing my journal again. And all the reasons came into my mind. And the number one thing was, yeah, people are keeping track of stuff for me, but no one has my story. No one else knows about the things I've written in this journal. No one knew what was going on in my mind before all this was happening. And I was thinking, man, when I have my kids in the future, not anytime soon, I don't think. But like when I have kids of my own, I don't want them to hear what everyone else thought about me. I hope that people think good things about me in the future, and that I left a good name for myself and for my family and posterity. But how much more would it mean to them if they were able to hear my story from me and in my words? Because no one else no one can see your life the way you see it. No one knows it as well as you do. Well, maybe someone does up there, but it's, but I'm saying, like, you know what I mean. So I made my New Year's resolution to write at least once a week in my journal, and at least write, how the week went. And this year so far, I've been able to keep updated with every day this year. And it's been one of the best things of this entire year, and probably of the last few years, because it's helped me organize my thoughts and helped me understand what I really want and what's important to me and what I need to keep on track with. And all those things I feel really important. And it's one of the things that's helped me realize what things I want to keep on track with in the future. Even though, none of us can really predict how our future is going to be like. 2 years ago, if you would have told me I was speaking in front of all you guys about this, I'd be like, no way. Funny.
Funny.
It's, as long as you keep doing your best, as long as you keep working hard and making sure, we don't know where we're going to go in our future. We don't know what tomorrow will bring exactly. But I think it's important to stay hopeful about it. I think it's really important to stay optimistic about it, because even if today is hard, even if we're going through a hard time right now, think about how great tomorrow can be, about the future, because it's really, it really is up to you. A lot of hard things can be going on in our lives, but there's always something great to be focusing on. And, like yesterday when I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be speaking tomorrow, and I could look at it as, oh man, this is such a hard thing, or I could be like, wow, what a great opportunity. I don't normally speak a lot, and I've never spoken at a conference like this before, but it's a great opportunity to be able to share the things that I've learned in my life so far with people, and hopefully it will be able to, some of you will at least be able to get something out of it. And that's just what I hope for as I'm speaking to you guys this morning. But that's another one of the things that is so important, is to just stay positive about your future. We can look at plenty of things that can make it a scary, hard, bad future. But it's like, I could probably think of all the bad things that could happen this week and see how horrible of a week it can be. But I can take that and flip that around and say, wow, I have so many opportunities to grow and learn this week. And I'm sure by the end of the week, if I keep that up, I'll look back and say, wow, what a great week I had. So I just encourage you all to keep that keep being positive and keep being optimistic about your future. And even if you did have a hard past, a hard life to